Welcome to the Oil Stream. Nielson and Gazzola with you as we get you set for a Stanley Cup final rematch. How exciting is that? And we're going to get into this. If you're watching over on YouTube today or listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, thank you very much for being here. We have had some power outage issues so far today, which is why you see in the Oil Stream chat, Scotty says, Dusty, when you go to Memory Express and they ask about the size of your load, they're talking wattage, and that does make sense. So I'll make sure to make a note of that when I roll in there to get an the ultimate power supply or whatever it is called. We'll get one of those for the office. Tommy Gazzola, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, Dusty. What's up with this power outage thing? Is it our building? Are we doing it? Are we tripping it? What happened?
To be honest with you, buddy, undetermined at this point.
Ugh.
Kicked out twice during lock shop, and it was our breakers. So I don't know if it's us doing it, if it's somebody else somewhere doing it. But hopefully we can smooth sailing here for the rest of the day, and if not, we'll find a way to take care of that. How's the rink down there, buddy?
Rink was good. I just finished up a great conversation with Panthers assistant coach Miles Fee, and people might remember him as the video coach for a long time here with the Oilers. Just catching up, obviously, but man, oh man, he's had an interesting. We hear about like how glamorous pro sports can be, and must be amazing. They do have that element of pro sports, but there's also like the guys that are busting their ass from 6 a.m. to midnight, putting in the video work, or thankless, I think, at times. And Miles, he worked really hard under many coaching regimes here in Edmonton, and then ended up with Carolina on their farm team, and then wound up in Buffalo with Ralph Kruger, stayed in Buffalo after Ralph was let go, took on a lot of responsibility. I've got some good stories that are not fit for air that I'll pass along to you guys. And then finally he gets hired by the Panthers, and he's an assistant coach, but he does still do video work. And he's just had an incredible journey, and then to be rewarded with the Stanley Cup. And he even said it to me. He's like, I'm not trying to rub it in or anything, and I'm sorry, if it might be too soon. I was like, I don't play for the team. I don't work for the team. I was happy to see you win. Yes, it was a bummer for the fans, and people around here wanted them to be victorious, and a bummer for people that are friends that work for the organization, but it didn't break my heart. And but he's that kind of guy that thinks about everybody.
The Oil Stream is brought to you by Boston Pizza. Feeling the holiday hustle? Celebrate the season with a festive escape at Boston Pizza. The holiday menu brings you indulgent dishes, delightful desserts, and holiday-inspired drinks that are perfect for sharing or savoring all to yourself. Treat yourself to a holla break with flavors that make every visit feel special. Tommy, as far as news from the rink goes, who was and who wasn't on the ice today?
Let's start with who was. Victor Arvidsson. Oh my God.
Hello.
I was like, who's that guy? Victor Arvidsson on the ice with the Oilers. And he wasn't really getting too involved in the drills. I saw him do a couple of rushes, but especially when they went into like the zone work and stuff like that among the lines, he was just kind of standing off to the side. But that's a good indicator. And like I said a week or two ago, they expect him to play before the Christmas break. So that was a step in the right direction. No Evan Bouchard, though, Dusty. He did not skate.
Okay.
That was described as maintenance by Chris Knobloch. And, we heard that Bouchard would be a 50-50 going into Saturday's game. That, of course, was a 2:00 start. And he ends up playing, and I thought he actually played decently well. So they're just allowing his injury, whatever he's nicked up with. We think it's a knee, obviously. To heal up a bit more, so no need to push it in a morning skate for 25-30 minutes. So he did not take the morning skate. Stu Skinner is your starter tonight.
So back to Stu Skinner. All right, so there you go. That is the latest there. What are you expecting from the Florida Panthers tonight, Tommy?
All right, well, there's a big piece of their puzzle missing, and no Sasha Barkov. He didn't play in that game against Calgary. This is a Panthers team that hasn't scored a goal in 2 games. But Barkov, obviously being the captain and emotional leader on that team, is very important. So he apparently is still quite ill. And, talking to Johnny Forsland, who does the Kraken play-by-play, but will be calling the game tonight for Prime. He says it sounds like there's a bug going around the Panthers room. The Kraken had it about 2 weeks ago. Sounds like the Oilers were dealing with something about a week ago. So Barkov probably not going to go. Bobrovsky between the pipes. And you know what? Here we are, Stanley Cup final rematch. First time these two teams meet since June 24th.
Oilers are winning tonight. I mean, if Barkov's not there, they're winning this hockey game. I'll be stunned with the way that they've been playing lately, Tommy. And I would think some added motivation from having your first ever crack at a Stanley Cup for most of these guys taken away by the Florida Panthers in Game 7. I mean, they've just been playing so well recently. Like I mean, I guess I won't be stunned if they lose to Florida, because Florida is also a good team who should have some motivation after being shut out in back-to-back games. But I'll be a little bit surprised if they don't get it done tonight. I will.
They're in a good space, and I was tempted to even ask, and I didn't. I refrained myself. I talked to Adam Henrique a little bit this morning. Is this team right now playing close to the same level it was maybe at times last season, during that 16-game winning streak? I don't even know if I dare ask that they hit that level again, but they are in a really nice stretch. 5 straight they've won. I think it's 10 of the last 15. They've put themselves right back into the mix when it comes to maybe they can go in, especially after that win against Vegas, and try to make it close and reel in the Golden Knights, because there's so much hockey left to be played that I don't know, Dusty. It seems to me like they're at a point where everything is clicking right now. All 4 lines, the 3 pairings, albeit, with the healthy smattering of Kulak all over the place, like you were saying on the morning show. They are in a really nice spot right now.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Your expectations for this game tonight. You can chime in there if you have any Oilers questions or comments. Feel free to text them to us as well at 780-218-9999. You can also hit us up over on the Nasty Chat as well, where the conversation continues about uninterrupted power supplies, which is nice. You get some information there, and I will definitely take that. Let's dive into your spicy headlines for Popeyes, and a couple of things standing out that we definitely want to discuss here on the show today. One, going back to the win over the Golden Knights, Tommy. What was post-game like following that victory against the Golden Knights? Obviously a Vegas team that has played them very well so far this year, and it was an interesting game because looked like it was going to be a runaway, but Vegas kept plugging along. Skinner ended up facing 41 shots, stopped 38 of them. I thought he was pretty good when it was all said and done. But what was the reaction like from the fan base after that game?
Lots of satisfaction. I think probably a sigh of relief that the Oilers beat the Golden Knights, because that is a team that has given them fits in the last couple of years. And then we think back to the playoffs, certainly. And the last couple of games against Vegas, I think 3-1 and 1-0 were the finals. And that's going back to the one in Vegas where we were there midway through the season, coming out of the All-Star break, I think it was, and bye week. And then the 1-0 loss. I know there's another game in there, but it seems like the Oilers were always on the losing end of a tight game. And those are just a couple of examples. And then Edmonton breaks through, gets that 5-0 lead. Vegas makes it close, but then Jeff Skinner scores that goal right after the third Vegas goal to make it 6-3. And I put that as the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game, because I think, any hope of a comeback and all that momentum that Vegas had built up, cutting it to 5-3 with those 3 unanswered, was quashed right there by that goal by Jeff Skinner. So, That was a good victory. And then the other point too, and I think someone texted in, and I want to correct myself, Edmonton 11 wins in the last 15, not 10. The play of Stu Skinner and him, it was noted he's beaten the goalies that beat him out for the Canadian Four Nations.
Yeah, Bennington and Hill.
Yeah, he's gotten to them a couple of times, which is good to see. So he's been he's been much better. I think, he's trying to prove people wrong. And Joaquin talked a lot about that too.
What was the reaction like to Skinner? I mean, because obviously the one goal, you can't blame on anybody but him. So what was the reaction like on the chat and on the text line after that game in regards to, Skinner giving up 3 when it looked like they had it in control, but he still ends up rolling out of that game with a .927 save percentage?
Yeah. I think the volume of shots and the amount of pucks towards the Oilers net kind of gave Oilers fans a bit of a reprieve from laying into Stu Skinner. Now, we did joke about that third goal and the Howden, gift that Skinner gave him, thanks to, as Joaquin likes to say, put some tape on that stick, kid, because that's kind of been Gager's thing. And I don't disagree with him. Not too much vitriol in terms of Skinner in those first couple he allowed. The third one, he kind of totally redeemed himself by shutting the door and the volume of shots and people recognizing that. So it wasn't that bad when it came to Skinner.
All right, well, that's good to see, and it shouldn't be with the way he's played lately. If you just run it back, if you go all the way back to the beginning of November, he started that month with a .935 against Calgary, .912 and a loss to Vegas. Usually you'll take .912 and be happy. Back-to-back games against the Canucks and the Islanders was not good. Won both of them, though, but had a save percentage of .864 or lower, and .818 against Toronto and loss. And since that Toronto loss, he's played very well. I mean, a .931 against Ottawa, an .808 save percentage in that game against Minnesota, in which the team in front of him was absolute garbage, so I'm not even hanging that one on him. The Rangers, .941. The Avs, .964. The Golden Knights in a 1-0 loss, .938. Against St. Louis, .935. Against Tampa, .955. Against Vegas, .927. I mean, the numbers he's put up since that loss to Toronto are NHL elite, and I don't think he continues that. But, Tommy, my goodness, when you're also scoring goals, I mean, it's no surprise that the others are kind of winning games very handedly here right now.
Yeah, and you said it. They're giving these guys, throw Calvin Pickard in there too, run support. They're scoring goals. They're scoring, 4, 5, 6 goals a game now. And there was that, first, I'd say dozen or so games, maybe even more, where they were good for 2 if they were lucky. They just couldn't find a way. The power play wasn't clicking. PK was leaking in all areas, and they were just getting caved in that way. It's tough to win when you can't score. And now, they've kind of balanced things out. They score goals. It's a kind of a 4-3 league now, not 3-2. And they're usually the team, lately especially, getting to 4. And their goalies and the team defense are shutting the door. And now we're watching Stu Skinner's numbers in terms of GAA fall below 3. It's a .282 going into tonight. The save percentage is not ideal yet, but you listed off what he's done in the last couple of weeks, and those are elite NHL numbers. He's getting closer to 900. He's at an .897 going into tonight, and that's an encouraging sign with so much hockey, like I mentioned before, left to be played, that by the end of the year, maybe we're talking about a Stu Skinner with a 2.5 GAA and 908 to 912 save percentage. And I think that will likely get you into a pretty good spot at the end of the season standings wise. And if he can improve upon that and hit his groove even more or take it to another level like the forwards do in the playoffs, maybe we're talking about another run to the cup.
Well, that's what I was going to say, like for Skinner, and we'll talk, we'll wait on the playoff conversation, but for Skinner through the season, what numbers do you think Skinner has to have from a save percentage and a goals against average? And the goals against average can be, as a major team stat, but let's just say, what numbers do you think Stuart Skinner has to have at the end of the year for people to be satisfied with his season, Tommy? Because a ridiculous amount of wins like he had last year, just won't be enough for some people. So what do you think those other 2 numbers have to look like?
Dusty, honestly, like I'll say this a bit in jest, but there are some people in oil country that would want it to be around 2, sub 2. Ron Tugnutt, mid-90s.
Let's just line up those idiots right here and slap them in the face. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That's unreasonable. It's unreasonable.
Yeah. And that's why I preface all of this, because there are those people, and we see it in our text line. We We see it in the nasty chat that, they're so hell-bent on these certain ideas, and they'll throw numbers at you and be like, well, if he's not around a 2.3 or has a 915, this team has no chance. Well, that's BS, first of all. I would say, like, if he can get it around 2.5 and 910, I think we're okay. Yeah. And I think the majority
if he's rolling 250 and
like,
910, buddy, I think people got to be happy.
I think people are like, okay. And the other thing, too, is if he shows them that he can make the big stop in key moments. And lately he's doing that. So I think that would – the visual to back up the numbers, and I think the majority of Oil Country and Oilers fans and pundits would be like, they're in a good spot. Stu Skinner's taking that next step in his career. He's just turned 26. He's playing his third full season in the NHL. His body of work is impressive.
You look at the last 2 years, and you mentioned just his third full season. 2 years ago, in his official rookie campaign, .914 save percentage, 2.75 goals against average. Last year, it was a .905. This year, it's an improving .897 right now. And for his career, it's a .908, which is almost at that .910 that everybody would like to see. So, yeah. I don't know. You would have been busy today down at the rink, but Murray McCourt went on an SD-worthy rant about Stuart Skinner. Man, you got to go back. Like, it is. I thought I was going to have to go in and politely ask Jasmine and Iwanek to leave the room because I thought Murray was going to spontaneously combust. Like he was. It was quite something. And people were texting in, they're watching the chat. They're like, just let Murray cook right now. Like he was.
Wow.
And Murray was nominated for a Rant of the Year SD last year, which you ended up winning. But he was nominated from last year for there it is. He was nominated last year for a Skinner rant as well. And he doubled down on the Skinner rant. He had a paper with notes and he just laid it out. And it was an absolute all-timer, definitely worthy of another SD nomination.
I'm going to have to go watch that. How much of it was fueled by fermented grape juice?
Oh, well, he did bring in his special Christmas wine. Yes.
Of course.
But we know that he's been all over the Skinner haters for a long time, sober or a couple of glasses of wine in. So it was pretty good. Scotty Knows over in the chat says people love pointing out that Pickard stats are better than Skinner's, but no one mentions that Quick stats are better than Shesterkin's at the same time. So yeah,
how about Marc-Andre Fleury's stats? He's got great numbers. Like
they're
backups. Their sample size is smaller. Anyway, sorry. You touched a nerve. You struck a nerve with me there.
Not as much as Murray McCourt's nerve today.
Okay.
As Kevin Van Dulsler says, McCourt doubled down this morning for sure. Wow. 100%. Statue Boss Production says, for me, the big stop and big moments is the hurdle for him. His overall numbers will be fine. I don't know how you track big saves, though. It will just be a perception thing, I think. Well,
yeah.
I mean, they track everything. I'm sure there's some website out there that has like just only big. It's www.bigsaves.com. And you can go and you can track down Skinner there. Penner's Pancakes, who I believe said he was eating at Mr. Mike's today, says, sorry right now, I'm taking a $2.6 million Skinner over an $11.5 million Shesterkin every single time. I'm even taking a $6 million Skinner as he's proven he can go deep in the playoffs, and $11.5 million is simply way too much for a goaltender. And I mean, that was one of the things that Murray McCourt was laying out in his rant today. He's like, he's the 29th highest paid goaltender in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. Did he not say that? I was doing some stuff with Damon Bunting, and I could almost hear Murray word for word through the wall. Like that's how fired up he was. At one point, I do believe he was yelling at the top of his lungs. Like Stuart Skinner is on an insanely reasonable contract for the next 2 years, and the Oilers, I mean, they have no room to pay more for a goalie anyway. So this is your guy.
No.
You've got him at a really good number. He's met your expectations the last 2 years. And yeah, maybe got up to an up and down wonky start. But I was talking about this with Button and others yesterday down in Camrose at the Junior A World Challenge. Lots of Oilers fans down in Camrose, obviously. So we were talking about Stuart Skinner. And I mean, there's I don't even know how many goaltenders in the league today you would describe as elite that can steal games on a regular basis. But we were talking about Skinner. I said, look, he's not a guy when your team's playing like absolute dog, you know what, in front of you, that he's going to go out every third night and stand on his head and save games. But if you're a team like the Oilers are playing right now that is very structurally sound and are not hemorrhaging grade A chances like they were earlier in the season, Stuart Skinner's going to be more than enough for you between the pipes. And I think that's what he's showing right now with some of these numbers that he's putting up when the team is playing pretty damn well in front of him.
I think that's a fair statement. Like, if you want to go back in time and play this game, if you went to a typical Oilers fan or a gaggle of Oilers fans and you said, what if I told you that in 2023, 2024, and beyond, the Oilers will be starting a guy who they drafted mid to late in a NHL draft. They signed to a deal that is so team friendly. And in his first full 3 seasons, or actually 2, he went to an All-Star game. He was a Calder finalist. And he, by the way, takes you to Game 7 of a Cup final that you lost. What do you think those Oilers fans would say? They'd be like, oh my God, where did they find this gem? How did they uncover him? Well, they already had him drafted. It's Stu Skinner. They've developed him. And I think,
well, and actually, I had to throw him in a little bit earlier, right? Like, there's just
that would be a good thing to point out too. But is his record and his body of work blemish free? Absolutely not. It's still a work in progress, but it's on a good trajectory, and I think it's good to remind ourselves. I know I'm not as hardcore about it as Murray, but I like to throw that out there. Like, yes, he lets in crappy goals from time to time. Yes, if the team's playing bad, he can play bad too. But he has done some impressive things. He's shown some growth. He continues to grow. And, you talk about the, Penner's Pancakes, and we talk about the number that they're getting him at, which is fantastic right now. But in a year or two from now, when they're talking about his next deal, Aiden Hill's kind of a template. There's a Stanley Cup winner, maybe Jordan Binnington, if you want to look at numbers. And that I don't think is going to break the bank, because I don't see Dusty him becoming a Shesterkin.
No chance.
Or a Vasilevsky.
No, and he never was supposed to.
He's going to be $5-6 million guy, and he's going to be steady for you, especially if he continues to progress.
All right, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Huge game tonight, obviously, the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Popeyes Spicy Headlines brought to you by Popeyes, where right now you can get the Family Festive Pack, which comes with 4 pieces of signature chicken, 4 tendies, 4 biscuits, 4 sides for just $30 at all Popeyes locations. And Popeyes locations keep popping up all over the city. So you can track that down and treat the family for dinner. I think if you want drinks as well, it bounces up to $36 or something. But it's a heaping load of food for just $30 from Popeyes. Tommy asked the question this morning on the show. We got to do a pretty decent little debate with YouTube Trev and LT this morning on how much stock are you as a member of the media, or do you think fans, obviously you guys, if you're listening to Oil Stream right now, you are an Oilers fan or a sports fan at least, so you have a take on this. So you can hit us up over on YouTube, smash the thumbs up over there, and you can text us at 780-218-9999 if you're listening on iHeart or TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. How much stock do you put into tonight's game? Like, if they lose tonight, you're like, oh man, they're never going to get past Florida. If they win tonight, are you going to go, man, problem solved from last year? You're not losing in a best of 7. Like, and I know a lot of people like zero stock, but I'm like, come on. I mean, you put stock in games against Minnesota, you put stock in games against Vegas. You're just going to skip over a game against a team that stole the Stanley Cup away from you in Game 7 last year. Like, I don't see it. So how much are you reading into whatever the result is of tonight's hockey game?
Okay, I'll start with not as much as Vegas and Mini, but some, because this is kind of hey, F you guys. You guys beat us in Game 7. And you want to see some emotion and some payback. And listen, man, it's nowhere near on the same scale, obviously, but a little something to be like, no, we remember, and we didn't like what happened. And if we meet again, be ready because we're coming at you and we know we can beat you. So I don't, if you were to put it into like a scale of 1 to 100, I'd put like 50% to 60% stock in this game and be like, it's important. It has meaning. There's emotion, the fan base. If you want to do it for your fans, this is a great night. Perfect example of an opportunity to show your fans that you are ready to make another run. And I think, we're starting to see indicators that this team is getting back into that rhythm, and they are clicking at the right time. And now it's starting to settle in. That Stanley Cup hangover, whatever, is gone. And I think this would be another feather in the team's collective cap, just like the win against Vegas was, just like the win in Minnesota was. Those are the Colorado win I want to even lump in there, because the Avs have been an absolute pain in the ass for the Oilers in recent years too. So this would add to that. And that's important, I think, for the team, to a certain extent. And then especially for the fan base. So if you want to throw them a bone during the holiday season, it's a great way to do it. So 50 to 60%.
You are. I mean, if they were to win tonight at home, people would be pretty happy coming out of Rogers Place just after 9:00 tonight or 9:30ish on a Monday night. They'd be flying pretty high.
Yeah,
flying pretty high for sure. Some of the reaction to this one, Rip City Step says the Panthers have never seen the Kapanen Oilers. 7-1 rout coming in. Rob from the Grove says, guys, Devon Shore is on waivers. Chief Andy says, let's say the boys only scored 2 goals against the Knights last game. We wouldn't be hyping up Skinner. He's still too inconsistent with needing 4 to 6 goals for the win. Chief Andy.
Andy's all
still
over
on Skinner.
Always is. I see the nasty chats, Chief Andy. No, we're not drunk, Chief Andy. But Chief Andy's pretty funny from time to time. The Skinner, he's quieting down a lot of the noise around him, and there are still some. Let's use Chief Andy as an example. Sorry, Chief Andy, because you did bring it up. That are not yet convinced, and it might take some more doing.
I like how he says you need 4 to 6 goals to win, when Stuart Skinner in his last 6 games, you would have only needed 4 goals once to win. That was the last game. Prior to that, it was 1 goal against, 2 goals against, 1 goal against, 2 goals against, 2 goals against. So, I mean, that's just been proven wrong recently. James B says they should be fired up and expect the big guns to show up like they have the last few games and show that them not scoring in Game 7 was just a blip. How much you read into the fact that Draisaitl's got 9 games against Florida without scoring a goal?
I think that is important, because this is a guy that finds ways to get points against everybody. Like, there's no team that really can stymie him. Now, that counts, the 9 games without a goal, that counts with the Stanley Cup final, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And we have to remember he was hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair point.
So, it would be something I'd look at and be like, whoa, does Leon, do the Panthers have Leon's number? But if we're lumping in that final series, I would recall and be like, well, he was banged up. He wasn't shooting the same. He did not have the same impact. And I think that's worth keeping in mind. So good on the Panthers for shutting him down in those last 9. I don't think there's anything that would suggest he can't break through and won't break through, especially when he's, at health. And that's the case right now.
Well, if you'd like to ride with me tonight on the EST parlay, it is now up and available over at CoolBet. Go to coolbet.com and then scroll down and click on exclusives, and you will see the EST parlay tonight plus 555. A pretty nice number on this. Oilers money line win, Bouchard with an assist, and a Leon Draisaitl goal. That's all we need tonight. There's no 2 points from McDavid. It's no Hyman power play goal. It's Draisaitl goal, Bouchard assist, Oilers money line tonight, and that'll get you plus 55, unless that line moves in the next little bit as people start to play it. Library Pat says, guys, if the Oilers play well tonight, I'm happy. Result is secondary to that. I put 65% stock into this game, less than the Wild and the Knights, but I still view it as important. That went in from Library Pat today. The Wolf is in. It says, guys, I just wagered a 6 o'clocker lager on tonight, a pack of 6 o'clocker lagers on tonight's game with Papa Wolf. And 6 o'clocker lagers on right now for $12.99, I believe, at Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. How about Papa Wolf? betting on the Panthers tonight, I guess. Is that what's happening there?
Well,
the Wolf, what's going on here?
Maybe Papa Wolf has had a few 6 o'clocker loggers and he needs to restock and he figures that's his best way to do it.
That very well might be the case.
How about the inadvertent pun that the Wolf dropped in there saying a pack? Hey-o.
Oh, because he's the Wolf. That is funny, Tommy.
One.
That is funny.
I am going to be bringing over a flat of 6 o'clocker lager to my parents' place over Christmas. Wow. That's good stuff, and the price is right now.
It's a great Christmas. It's a great Christmas beer. Let's be honest. Get them around and under the Christmas tree. This one is in from Uncle Dave, texting in from Cumberland, BC. He doesn't have a handle yet, so I guess he wants to be Uncle Dave. Let me
Your
add
Uncle
him in.
Dave?
What's that?
He's your Uncle Dave?
No. He's not my Uncle Dave, Tommy. He's just Uncle Dave from Cumberland, BC. I'm from Cranbrook, BC. And I do have an Uncle Dave, but I don't think he lives in Cumberland. Anyway, just tuning in. I'm not sure if you talked about the glitch in the Matrix yet. December 16th, 2023, the Edmonton Oilers faced the Panthers in Edmonton after Florida had been shut out in 2 games in a row, including a 4-0 loss to Vancouver. December 16th, 2024, the Edmonton Oilers faced the Panthers in Edmonton after Florida's been shut out 2 games in a row, including a 4-0 loss to Vancouver. How strange is that?
Very strange. And then,
God.
Without that loss the other night in Calgary, the Panthers and Oilers for a couple hours were both at 18-10-2.
Yeah, almost identical records before that loss.
Yeah. So Barkov, I think, was healthy in that game a year ago to this day, if I recall correctly. Yeah, glitch in the Matrix. I like that when you get one of those, but that's a great little stat.
Tommy, are you a big deja vu? Are you a big deja vu guy?
I get it sometimes, like some people. I don't know if it.
Do you think it's glitch in the Matrix, like the movie The Matrix, when it does happen?
No, I don't believe in this being a simulation.
Okay, I just want to maybe.
Theory.
I mean, if the power kicks out on us again, then we could be like, something's going on. Somebody's pulling the plug, right? I wouldn't want to be in the Matrix because of all the goo that you have to come out of. That looked gross.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I don't mind the idea of being a computer hacker, like Neo was, right before he got plucked out of the Matrix. But yeah.
Describe back pain to me if we're all just a simulation, because my back is it's on fire right now. So
yeah, that would be a real prick move by the program, right?
Yeah.
Why's your back on fire? You're carrying Rashog's backpack around or what?
Yeah, well, I got a good look at it again today.
Is he showing off his backpack again?
Well, yeah, and he mocked mine again.
Okay, well then look, I haven't been bringing this up because I think it's ridiculous, but now I'm going to bring it up. He's mocked your backpack twice now?
Yep.
Like, would you have your backpack with you? Like, I've seen you. Is it around? Can you show me your backpack? Where's your backpack?
Give me a sec.
Go get your backpack. I see this ragtag backpack. Rashog drops like almost $1,000 on his backpack, and now he's mocking Tommy's backpack, which doesn't make any sense to me. All you need to do is put, like, why would you spend like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a backpack? Let me see this backpack, Tommy. Let me see. Hold it up there.
NHL All-Star Game backpack from Nashville.
Yeah.
It's got everything you need. It's a Case Logic. I don't know what the.
I feel like that's a good brand.
It's got everything I need, and it's nice. Like I literally bring this backpack just to the rink for practice days and morning skates.
So that's it. Just for practice and morning skates and games?
That's it. No. I carry around. I have a Padfolio.
So he was mocking this backpack today.
This backpack right here from the All-Star Game in Nashville. It has like a little bit of bright yellow neon on it. It says Nashville 2016.
So he wants you to splurge on a backpack like he did and have his initials on it.
Well, I have my usual backpack. That's the thing. Like, this has a microphone, a light stand, a light, and a pen, and some cords in it. That's it. That's all it has my stuff that I need for the rink, okay?
Man, I don't know why he's picking on your backpack. It's not nice.
Now, I have my usual backpack.
Okay, let's see. Give me the usual backpack too here.
This is a good one. I got to do some zippers up. This is like a nice OGO one, right? They're a couple $100. They're not, and I got it on sale. I found a good sale on Amazon, I think it was, or I found it somewhere for it was like 40 or 50% off. It's a nice OGO one, right? This is my day-to-day. Got the bottle there.
Yeah.
It's got so many zippers, good material. And so that's my daily one. And that's
so
like
what does his backpack have that your backpacks don't have? Does it have 2 slots? Does it have a pocket on the front? Like, what's going on here?
It has multiple pockets on the front. It's got his initials in a leather thing etched onto it on the front.
You know what? I'm not going to mock him for having his initials on his backpack because Marshall and Elizabeth also have their initials on their backpack.
Okay, that's cool.
They're 7 and 9. They're 7 and 9. But still.
You know, you want to talk about initials? I got it on my shirts. Like that, I think is more important than a backpack.
Rashog's backpack, if he's in a plane, should also double as a parachute if he's talking it up this much.
Well, and listen, I know he likes his trinkets, gadgets, whatnots, and hootenannies because he's really into those types of things. And I respect him having the Lamborghini of backpacks, as he described it.
Yeah.
Because it's a super nice backpack.
Does it have its own Wi-Fi signal? Like, what's going on here?
I think it has a beacon to let you know where it is at all times.
It probably does.
Yeah, RFID all over that. It's directly connected to his phone and his Apple Watch because he has both. But Dusty, he started this rant a couple games ago up in the press box about like me dressing well, looking good for morning skate, and then carrying around a $20 backpack that totally ruins my look. And I was like, what? I'm like, you mean that backpack I bring just for like that has all the gear I need that I only bring to the rink where no one sees it? And he goes, yeah, that backpack you need to step it up, Tom. And then I'm like, oh, you have a nice backpack, don't you? He goes, well, I'm glad that you asked. Pulls it up and tells me how he was very happy with the success he's had on his podcast. And it's a good podcast. And he does a good job on the Got Your Back podcast. He has 2 tremendous co-hosts with him. He's got a great producer in Steve Taylor. I would say that those guys are stars for sure. And so he's done well. And he said, I decided to treat myself because of the success of the podcast. So I went out and bought a $900 backpack. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I'm happy for you, Shoggy. You're my friend. We're peers. We're kind of colleagues still. Like, good for you. That is awesome. But like, why are you mocking my wardrobe? And then the contrast to my shitty backpack. And then all of that just to tee up you showing off your backpack for show and tell. Unnecessary. And then again today, he takes a shot at me.
It's unnecessary. I mean, we had to fire darts back because that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, a backpack worth that much money is unnecessary, but ripping Tommy's backpack, also unnecessary.
Listen, I got it at the All-Star game. It's an NHL backpack. It serves a need. Sorry, I'm choking on the water. I'm getting so
Here's what I'm rolling with, and we'll get to keep it a clip in a second. This is one I bring to work here. It's an over-the-shoulder.
Yeah.
Like this one just goes over. And then I have a similar one that you take on the road for CFL. And that one,
right.
I mean, that one does, I don't know. I don't even know how many road trips a year, but it gets worn down a little bit. That probably only lasts me 2 years. But what are these, a Swiss brand or whatever? I like
those
these
are
ones.
Good.
Yeah, these are really good.
Functional, well-constructed laptop bag.
Would you like to see what I have in my laptop, in my bag here?
I hope you have candies in there.
I don't. I have a WCB letter.
Nice.
That's just your generic thing. I have one notepad in this one. I got some spare headphones.
Important.
I have a pen that I actually prefer at the office. I'll take that out. I got the Larry Ring pen. The Larry Ring dropped off. That's going home with me because that's a real nice one.
That's a good one. Has a flashlight on it. I got the flashlight right here.
I've got an old little. Well, it's a new USB. Oh, it's like you can plug something else into it. USB-C to USB-A to USB-C.
Yeah.
I guess I just have that for no reason. I've got a little day planner that I put an Edmonton Sports Talk thing on, but I haven't really used it much. But I still like carrying that around as well. I got lots of stuff. But you know what I don't have in here is that thing that I was supposed to have for you. I couldn't find it.
Oh, that's okay. I saw
I've got Joaquin Gage cards. I got to give those to Gager. I'll take those out.
Can I say something? Gager there was some kids that came to Hudson's because they're allowed in till 9.
Yeah.
And I gave them some of those Edmonton Sports Talk decals because I had some left in my day-to-day backpack, the good OGO one.
Yeah.
And then Gager goes, "Hey, boys, how did the game go?" And they're like, "We won." And he's like, "Here you go." Gives them a card, gives them a card, gives them a card. And then I was like, "Oh, Gager, come on." So I grab a Sharpie out of my good backpack and I say, "You got to sign it for the boys." And they're like, "This is you." And he's like, "Yeah, that's me." And they're like, "No way." So cool.
They were loving it.
And then they loved it. And then there was a younger girl that was the sister of one of the boys was like, "Can I have a sticker?" And I gave her one. And then she was looking at the card and she's like, "Oh, I want one." And then Gager looks and he had one more. And I gave him the Sharpie, signs it. And he goes, "Here, sweetie." And she's like, you know when the kids get something they like and they hold it really close?
Yes.
She did that. And I was like, that is awesome. So well done, Joaquin. Just a good vibe at Hudson's Bourbon Street on Saturday. And it was a good thing that in our backpacks, our day-to-day ones, we had all the necessary tools to make that happen. A small moment, but a nice moment.
I'm digging into like the thin pocket at the back, the thinner one. And I don't know if I've been in here in years because I've still got like masks from the pandemic.
Oh yeah, throw those out.
I have a pocket square that I haven't worn in years.
That's a good find. You might want to use it at some point.
Might want to use that. There's a CD in here. If anybody can guess the CD, that would be great. And then there's a bunch of crumbs in the bottom that looks like crushed up mini eggs, which must have got in there somehow. So I'm gonna have to clean that out.
Dusty, here's one thought. If Rashad goes on that spiel about his $900 backpack after just mercilessly ripping my game day backpack or rink backpack, and I find out that all he keeps in there are crackers like Cosmo Kramer, that would be the ultimate.
That would be good. This CD, I don't think it's going to work. It's cracked a little bit. Any guesses on what CD I have randomly in this backpack?
I thought it was Creed.
No, it's not Creed. Lots of people are guessing Creed. It's actually Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg.
No.
I don't know. I can't believe this got cracked in there. And look, this has more crumbs all over it too. I think it is, in fact, mini eggs. That's a mess. Oh, well, I think I got another one of those in the truck anyway.
Okay.
So, anyway, good little backpack conversation today.
I know.
Anyway, Rashad, leave this guy alone. He's doing his best.
Nothing wrong with this.
Holy smokes.
Jeez.
Rip City Step, nice guess on the Jack Armstrong Christmas album. That was really good. That was not the case. People are wondering if it was Pop-Tart crumbs. It might have been Pop-Tart crumbs, but kind of smelled like mini egg crumbs. Anyway, good thing I went in there because I found these Gager cards that I'll give to him. So that's
perfect.
That's nice. All right, let's get into Keep It or Clip It for Tommy Guns. At Tommy Guns Original Barbershop, they believe a great haircut is more than just a quick in and out. Get the whole experience. If you've not yet tried Tommy Guns, I'm telling you, be like Bruce Simpson from William Huff. Go try it once. You're going to be like, okay, this is my new haircut place. They follow the code, a commitment to deliver the best barbershop experience every single time you visit. From check-in to the finishing touch, every step is crafted with care. No appointments needed. Just walk in, relax, and they will take it from there. Here we go, Tommy. Arvidsson goes right back with Draisaitl when he's healthy. Keep it or clip it.
I'm going to clip it. And I think that you let this Kapanen experiment ride out.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that idea.
Let it ride out. And I said the same thing before Hyman came back. I'll stand with it. Like, I feel the same way. Like, if you want to get, and Arvidsson's missed way more time than Hyman did. If you want to get him up and running, maybe start him out on the fourth line or something like that. Now, Kapanen's game could go into the pooper, and you could be looking at Arvidsson going, all right, we'll put you right back in there with Draisaitl. But he's rolling right now. Kapanen's playing well. His confidence with the puck. He's scoring. He's got some assists. No reason to pluck him off of there for Arvidsson just yet, especially with Arvidsson having a tough start to the season and then being out for the last month and a bit.
I would agree as well. Like, Arvidsson was doing some good things with Draisaitl, but the production wasn't there. It's not like it was automatic and you're like, oh, Hyman's back. You got to play him with McDavid because that's where they always, like, I don't I don't think that necessarily has to be the case. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna clip it as well. I don't think he automatically goes right back. I think maybe eventually you get him another look there for sure. Max Bazuzu says, guys, we're in the Draisaitl podcast era now, and go from there. I mean, yeah, I don't think it has to be Arvidsson's back. See you later. You're the odd man out, or you're back on waivers. I don't think that's the case, nor should it be.
No.
All right, let's go to this one. Finishing behind Reed in his first EST draft is unacceptable, Tommy. What say you?
I'll keep it.
Only 1%. You were right there. Eric got pumped.
I was right there.
You were right there.
Yeah. Listen, we can look at it this way. I had an improvement over my last draft, which was terrible. So I'm in a area of retooling and rebuilding, getting back to my championship pedigree. And I will get there, trust me.
I guarantee, eh? Because what do we have for wins now here? I got the first two, then you went on a run of 3 in a row.
Yep.
And then Eric and Glue Guy split one, and then I got this one. So you and I both have 3 wins so far. So it's a nice little comeback. I thought Reed did a really good job, though, in that first draft.
He did do good. Yeah. And I think he got the rookie bump. I do. I think that's legit.
You do think there was a few rookie bump votes in there?
I think so. He's a very easy guy to like, and I think he got the rookie bump. And I did have some missteps. I think my food, I think I could have gone a little bit more. I kind of left a couple things out there that I wasn't happy with. I did try to appease the masses, so that's why I went turkey. And then I like chips and dip. It's nice to have like on the side when you go to a Christmas party. My parents always have some chips and dip, nachos and salsa. Like I like that idea of it. That's what I was trying to go for. But there could have been better selections. And then I should have taken Last Christmas by Wham instead of Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid.
You did drop the ball a bit of the music categories. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, no. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree is
you used a first round pick on Mariah Carey, buddy.
That is the Christmas song, though. I'm sorry. It is better than any.
We were talking about that after. I think you could have got that in like the 3rd or 4th round.
Maybe.
I think you just overdrafted it. I'm not going to disagree with your take on the song, but
yeah, it is the Christmas song, and I had the 4-5 swing, so I wanted to get that out of the way in a hurry. It was a spotty draft, but it was a much improved draft overall, and yeah, so keep it. Losing to Reed in his first draft is unacceptable.
Reed has popped up in the chat, and he says, "Little Jingles should have won it for me anyway." that was brilliant. That was the dog who was taking a dump in Grandma's bed. That was or vomiting, one or the other.
Both, actually, that
was a fun Christmas draft, man. I had a lot of fun with that.
That was good.
Do you think I won? Or do you think I did better because I wasn't blabbing? Like I was focused on the draft and not talking?
I think that there was a unique element to that. And, Vance Van Vandervan, Tommy Rabella, and Rob from the Grove were at Hudson's on Saturday. And we were chatting a little bit about your performance and like the signs and the writing your notes. Was actually pretty funny. And I think that could have given you a little bump. Not
just like from an entertainment perspective at the draft, maybe.
I'd say like 3 or 4 percentage points, which I'm not going to lie to you, sitting beside you just to get the cool story card brought up again, it was kind of like a challenge during the draft for me. So I enjoyed that. I thought it was good for a few percentage points for sure.
That was pretty good. I do like that. All right, let's get to a keep it or clip it with Tommy Guns here. Brett Kulak has been the most pleasant surprise this season for the Oilers.
Clip it, because Darnell Nurse getting back to the level we expect him to be at has been a pleasant surprise. And I don't think a lot of people were going to give him the benefit of the doubt and didn't think that he would get to where he is right now. So I like what Kulak is doing. He has been so solid, so versatile, and it is a pleasant surprise, but I think the biggest surprise would probably be Darnell Nurse's resurgence, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I like Kulak has been good, but we know Kulak's good. You know, like
Yeah.
Kulak's good. He's been good since he got here. He was good before he got here. Yeah, I think the Nurse surprise is probably a good one. You know, if their production, like I am surprised that Podkolzin has locked himself into the top 6.
Yeah.
Now, if there was more production there, maybe I'd be like, wow. I mean, how can you not look at Podkolzin as that? But yeah, the Nurse thing is probably the main driver of clipping this. All right, let's go to this one. The Florida Panthers are still the team to beat in the East. Keep it or clip it for Tommy Guts.
I'll keep it. They are.
How about that, though, right?
Yeah, they're rounding into form. I don't like Washington coming out of the gates so hot is a bit surprising. The Devils being where they're at, we figured with Markstrom they'd be surging again. I think by the end of the year, Florida is going to be at the top of the East or right there, or second. And they know what it takes to win. They've been to 2 straight Cup finals. They beat the Oilers at Game 7 last year. I think they are legitimately the beasts of the East. And now they've got some company, sure. But when you had that championship crown, you get the benefit of the doubt, and it's worth a couple extra points for sure. So I'll keep it. They're the best team in the East and the team to beat in the East.
All right, and Tommy, you did record a one-on-one with who today, and where can people find it?
Johnny Forsland, who will be doing the play-by-play on the Prime broadcast today. John, by the way, he started with the Whalers, was with Carolina up until the Kraken came in, is now the Kraken play-by-play guy, but he's also he used to do NBC, NHL broadcast, national. Now he's on TNT. He's the Prime guy, and he's a good friend, a legendary broadcaster. And when you hear his voice, you'll know who he is. Great stories. He had a thing, Dusty, today where he talked about when he was with Carolina and they lost to the Red Wings in 2002, and the team trying to recover the next year after that, compared to the team that went on to win the Stanley Cup 4 years later. He really was good at articulating the feeling from those players those years. And I was trying to kind of bring it back to what the Oilers have felt like, contrasted to how the Oilers felt in 2006 when they lost. And John was there for both of them. And I think John did some games either in the conference finals or the cup final last year. And so he has a great perspective and has some great stories on that. So that I'll post on our Facebook.
Okay.
Because unless you want it to be.
Well, no, but I was talking about Adam Henrique in the Nasty Club for Nasty Club members.
Oh, and then I had a one-on-one with Adam Henrique. Yeah, and that's in the Nasty Club. That's just audio. Henrique was really good. The guy's a pro, man. Like you talk about them not getting too high, too low, and he's in that mind frame. But he also did shed some light on where the team's at right now and what it's like to face the Panthers. So you can get that exclusive in the Nasty Club. So we'll be doing more of that. It's going to be great. It's going to be
I find all that exclusive stuff in the Nasty Club. What's coming up on EST Afternoons today, boys? I know they got a Florida guest. Coming. George Richards out of Florida will be coming up on EST Afternoons here right at 1 o'clock as we continue to roll. Tommy will be back with the GCL Diesel pregame show at 5:30 tonight, and of course postgame to follow after a Stanley Cup final rematch tonight. Should be a good one. We're looking forward to that. Tommy, you look terrific, and your backpacks are just fine with me, my man.
Thank you, Dusty. I needed that reassurance because I was rattled.
That's going to do it for the Oil Stream today, brought to you by our great partners over at Boston Pizza. Stick around. EST Afternoons is coming up.